Is it just, hey, Cody, in for this play, Cody, come back? Is that kind of the communication, or are you aware ahead of time, hey, when we do these type of looks, or how does it all work?
Well, definitely being in tune with the game flow and knowing if it's a third and short or like I don't know, any type of whatever the situation was. But I always try to stay locked in, and my eyes are always on the field. And obviously I have to wait for their call, but whenever they call me, I have to be ready and go in there.
Cody, as somebody from the East Coast, as somebody who probably was growing up pretty familiar with Penn State football, is there any added intrigue, enthusiasm to play a game in that place? Understanding, football from its roots, and when you play in this part of the country, it's a pretty big deal to play there. What's your excitement level to just go see it?
I'm ultimately excited. My first time there was during COVID, so there were no fans there, so it's a completely different experience. But I'm definitely hyped up because, it's around where I'm from. There's not Penn State's probably the biggest school out there, so it's just just being ready to handle the emotions and the flow of the game, and be able to be confident and go out play our hardest.
That was my next question. How do you go about doing that? Obviously, ebbs and flows, especially when you're playing defense. Crowd's a little quieter. You can probably still communicate at that point, so you actually get a little bit of a lift there in that regard. How do you go about handling stuff that is not the 11 men on the other side of the line? You know what I'm saying? Making it just a normal football game as best you can.
Yeah, I think it just always goes back to practice. No matter what happens, our coaches throw so many different looks at us, and just make sure we're on our toes, because if we're confident in what we see, there's nothing else that really matters. The crowd doesn't really matter. So for us, it's just being able to be locked in at all times during practice and letting it translate. And we spend all the time in meetings and watching film. So I think that's the key part about handling the extra stuff that's not involved with the 11 guys.
We've gotten to see a number of the new guys this season, just late in the game, special teams and whatnot. But CJ Hicks obviously had a lot of hype coming in this season, being in that linebacker room. How has he taken this season so far? Maybe a handful of games into his Buckeye career. He's got some snaps as well there on the defensive side. Just how has he handled the season from your perspective?
He's a very young and really high energy guy. He brings the energy of the room up and makes it a great time. And he's a great competitor though. At all times, he's always trying to go his hardest and just finding where he fits in. And that's what you want out of a young guy, and someone who doesn't have to contribute, but is always ready to contribute whenever time needs. And he's been playing big on special teams, and he's been really good for us. So, I can't say enough good things about him, but he's doing really well right now.
You mentioned
Last question.
well, you just mentioned the excitement of getting to play there after 2020, but it's not the whiteout night game that Ohio State's had to deal with the last several times there. I know from a fan perspective, everyone's thought is, okay, that makes it easier. What has been kind of conversation among your players about what it's going to be like to have a different kind of atmosphere there?
Yeah, no, we know it's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy, chaotic, but our goal is to just focus on the task at hand and can't let any of that stuff affect us. And the crowd is crowd. Like we love the shoe. They play a big impact on our games, but our focus just has to be laser focused on the plays and our game plan, and if we do that, we should be fine, and then just play how we play.
Last question.
It took a while for Ohio State to get their first interception, but now Tanner by himself last week had 2. What changed between week 1 against Notre Dame and even week 2 against Arkansas State to now?
Sometimes stuff just doesn't. The ball just can't come your way, and I think our defense has gotten more experience and better understanding of how it operates. So guys can get in the right position, know and predict where other players are going to be, the offensive players. And so I think we've been doing better each week at that, and just being able to be more in tune with what's going on and the type of stuff we're going to get on offense, and really just more comfortable on the defense on the field.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody.